this is a memory check on how much I remember from our Sunday school lesson this last Sunday at West Side Baptist Church, where friends become family, and it was on, strange they don't have a date on this thing. Huh. Anyway.
Well, today's the 27th, so it would have been...
Today's the 27th, so it was the 26th.
There you go.
That's my wife from the other room, and she supposedly have a memory problem. She takes her Momenda, and but I don't understand because it seems like I'm the one with the memory problem. She can write real pretty and spell real good, and I can't do that. Nobody's worried about my memory. But anyway, so I went to Aunt Julie's, that's my brother Al's wife, Sunday school class, Sunday. I haven't been to Sunday school for a long time. And so I thought, well, I'll just try something different here. So I went to her class, and it's an international class. It's internet people from all over the world. It was really interesting because her question to us was, give our name and where we were from. And that's what they do in group therapy, so that probably is what why they do it in Sunday school too. But it was interesting because there was a black guy there from Alabama, but he sounded like he had a accent from the Bahamas. Anyway, but he said he was from Alabama. Then we had a couple that were there from Brazil, and then we had a lady from China, and then myself. I said I was from Miami. That's another country. And then we had a couple from South Korea, and then a lady that was from Gainesville, and then we had a couple from rats. I even looked it up. Commune. Anyway, it's on the west coast of Africa. But the interesting thing, we found out later that they had actually met in France, even though they were both from anyway, Africa. Then we had another man. He said he was from Korea, and I don't know if that was because he was from North Korea, but anyway, he was from Korea. And then a lady from, I forget where she was from. And then another lady from Vietnam. And then my brother, and then Aunt Julie. So anyway, the first question that was posed to us was, after we had stated where we were from, was, where did we get our worldview? And she was bringing out that our worldview basically comes from where we were from. You know, my view of the world was different than the couple from Africa that had traveled a lot, and I'm sure, but all these different countries, these people had been raised in. Their worldview would have been different than ours. So each one was different, which was interesting. The point I think she was trying to bring out was that all these different worldviews, but what we're looking at is what is God's worldview. And it was relating to a passage in Joshua. Joshua was second in command from Moses, and he was actually one of the 12 spies that had gone into the land 40 years before, and he was one of the two that said, yes, the there's giants in the land and all that, and but with God's guidance, we can overcome all that. But they were the only two spies that went in and came back with a positive report. All the other ones said, no, we can't do it. And because of that, they didn't go into the land, and they wandered around for 40 years until that whole population had died off and a new population had come up. Well, here he is coming into being a spy again and coming into Jericho, and they met up with this lady who was a prostitute, and she was hiding them, and she was telling them that everybody in the city were just completely afraid of them because they had heard what God had done, parting the Red Sea and several other things, and that they were just had no will to fight. They were ready just to run. But it was interesting because we were discussing about how she knew all this, and we were it came out that because of the trade routes going through the deserts and all that, that's how they communicated. They didn't have our modern communications, but they did have communication. So here, these people had heard all these stories about these Israelites wandering all over the desert, and all the great things God had done. And I can imagine also, it didn't come out in the lesson, but I mean, here's a caravan coming by, and here's 1 million maybe plus people wandering out in the desert, and they don't seem to have any food, and they're living off the manna, and their clothes are not wearing out, and their shoes are not wearing out, it's been told to us. And so here this caravan's coming by, and they see this, plus they see this big cloud out in the middle of the desert. How in the world do you have a cloud? Is it a rain cloud? That these people are following by day, and then they have a fire at night that they follow. That would be pretty spectacular if you're walking along with your camels and you're looking over in the distance and said, hey, there's a big old fire over there. I wonder what that is. And somebody else will say, oh, those crazy Israelites, they're following that flame, that fire over there, So anyway, all these stories have come back to where the Israelites are going, and the city of Jericho. And so it was just kind of interesting, the whole process of, okay, we all have our worldview, and we think about, okay, what is God's worldview? Well, it really basically comes back down to Adam and Eve, and the fall. Man has a perfect Garden of Eden, and he can't keep one little thing straight, and that was eating the fruit of the tree of good and evil. And here they are, now we have fallen man. And of course that's something nobody wants to face up to, that the whole world has one thing in common. We're all fallen. We all have sinned. And so it was kind of an interesting lesson in the fact that here we are in an international class, and our main bond is not where we come from, but that we're all fallen men. But anyway, I just that could be very depressing if it wasn't for God's love for us and giving His Son as the perfect sacrifice for our sin. And all we have to do is accept that. But that's for another time. Anyway, thank you, Aunt Julie, for your lesson, and thank you, the international class, for the inputs that were put in. from the individuals there. And this was just my input, trying to remember what was said 24, 12, 36 hours ago. Okay. I'm going to run this by Aunt Julie, see how close I came to what she was trying to get across. I don't think I aced it, but, maybe I didn't get an F. All right.